We're going to hear Dave LaRue's story and then announce the winner of OC's Greatest Storytellers Spring Show.
Thank you. So I'm reading this because I don't want to see what happens if I improvise, and I don't think you either. So tonight I'm talking about equality and beauty. In the Declaration of Independence, it says that all men are created equal, which is a great line. Really strong opening. But when they actually set up the country in the United States Constitution, it was more like, well, not everybody. Some people were reduced to fractions. Women aren't even mentioned. Can I get an amen? Amen. I'm sorry, can I get an amendment? My thought is, we may start out equal, then you ain't, but by the time you get to be my age, you go back to being equal. Does that make sense? Equal, then not equal, then equal. Let me give you an example of inequality. If I was Brad Pitt reading aloud from his grocery list, I suspect this venue would be standing room only. Or if I was Meryl Streep speaking on her important and life-changing experiences with teeth whiteners. Or if I was the singer Tom Jones, you might be hurling bras and panties at me. Imagine that, bras and panties, which I would really appreciate. In fact, I'm going to pause for a moment to see if this happens. Just me and my existential thoughts. But let's consider things a bit. Tom Jones gets bras and panties thrown at him. If he was a woman singer, what would he get? Certainly not jock straps, tube socks, and underwear. So if I was Adele singing, maybe men would throw roses. So since we're talking about equality, let's compare throwing roses with throwing bras and panties. After the concert, did Tom Jones collect the bras and panties and sell them on eBay? I guess we'll never know. But clearly this is inequality. Bras and panties versus roses, I'm just saying. Okay, this is my thought again. We start off equal, then we're soon way unequal, then eventually, I say this happily, equality comes back as we age. We even have a numbering system. One quantitative measure of our unequalness. Yes, one numbering system to quantitatively rate us. A numbering system, consider that. We can go around and through life with a number essentially tattooed metaphysically on our soul. I'm talking about prettiness, beauty. Remember the movie 10? That was the manifestation of one quantitative system to characterize inequality and beauty, to depict one nature of disparity, to reveal the one scaffolding of privilege. Consider that a scaffold of privilege. I have no idea what that means, but I embrace it. I suspect we've all used it. We've all used it and argued about it. She's an 8, no, she's no 8, she's a 6 at best. Or from another perspective, he's an 8, no, he's a 6 at best. Argue, about other people, judging them, assessing them, arguing. But then we kind of wondered what we were. I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, she's an 8 or he's an 8, and your buddy says, no way, it's a 6 at most. But what you're saying is very, very different when you're talking about yourself. Quantifying your own prettiness. Quantifying your own level on this one scale of inequality. Very heavy. Now, I'm saying this as a personal 4. My ranking of myself. I'm a solid 4 out of 10. Maybe 4 out of 11. Back when we were young, that label was like a permanent definition. If you were an 8, you couldn't do much to change that, but you were an 8, baby, forever. Back then, we didn't think about or even consider aging. Aging brings up the problem. Say you're an 8, but then you age. What happens? Are you just forever in descent mode? Or do you change day to day? I'm an 8 today. Yesterday, I was a 7.65. Should you be compared to people your own age or your original self? Are you sliding into oblivion? Damn it, people want to know these things. Now, I admit that I'm a 4 out of 10, but to a 40-year-old lady, I'm a 2. And And to an 85-year-old lady, I'm no 4. No, sir, baby, not at all. That 40-year-old lady thinks that I'm a 2, but that 85-year-old lady also thinks that I'm a 2. So this ranking system is both complex and non-linear. Then you have the problem of the add-on, which has nothing to do with beauty. Metaphorically, a short man standing on a wallet can be 6'5". Or you can add points if you're famous. Oddly enough, having an advanced degree like an MD can either add points to your score when people are impressed, or subtract when they find out you're boring. Quantifying inequality is a challenge. All right, here's the story. Back in college, I used to hang out in a coffee shop with my friend Tom, and we would rate everybody like we were certified judges of human attractiveness. One day, I saw a 10, absolute 10. Her name was Mary Jane, tall, blonde, mathematically undeniable. Unfortunately, she had a boyfriend. The next year, she broke up with him and had undergone a statistically significant multi-dimensional aesthetic reconfiguration. Her hair vector altered, stylistic variables recalculated. Essentially the same person, but a revised iteration with a non-linear perceptual framework, if you get what I'm going for. And suddenly the question wasn't, what is she? It was, what happened to the 10? Does the number change? Do we revise the score? Do we issue an update? Because I had a problem. In my mind, she was still 10. That's when it hit me. I was engaged in a deeply flawed attempt to impose a one-dimensional quantitative metric on a multi-dimensional, dynamic, and fundamentally ephemeral phenomenon.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Which in retrospect may have been a mistake. So I asked her out. She lived in West LA. I had some buddies in Westwood I visited before the date. They insisted I try this new marijuana they just scored. It was probably called something like electric cactus or berry goldweed. Big mistake. As a result, the date did not go as planned. We went out to dinner on the Malibu Pier, very cool, but the moment I sat down, time fractured. I became hyper aware of my breathing. Then suspicious of my breathing. Then suspicious of her breathing. Was she even real? Why was she blinking so much? Was the blinking a code? At that point, I laughed so hard at the word napkin that I snorted. Which made me laugh more and made me cry. Which made me ask if crying on a first date was still a power move. She left just before the entrees arrived. I stayed behind and had a deep emotional connection with a bread roll. And yes, I realized the irony of ruining a date with a girl named Mary Jane by smoking Mary Jane. But it really happened. I could go on and on about this issue of beauty and inequality. It's a worthy subject, and I haven't even mentioned inner beauty. And yes, inner beauty is a lovely thing, but let's be honest, no one walks into a room and causes fainting spells because they're emotionally available. You don't hear someone whisper, "Oh my God, did you feel that?" That person sets healthy boundaries. So in summary and conclusion here, we ain't all equal, but here's the twist. As we age, equality starts sneaking back in like a high school reunion. Suddenly the prom queen needs knee surgery, and the valedictorian is on his third hip, and everyone's eyesight is so bad we all look hot again. Beauty fades, muscles soften, even fame starts to curve gently downward, and suddenly the scale tips towards personality, kindness, and whether you know how to make a good sandwich. So yes, we're unequal, but the real hope is that one day we're all equally interesting, equally ridiculous, and equally capable of telling a story that makes someone spit coffee through their nose, which is the ultimate focus and goal of all storytelling. Thank you.